What is up, guys? Charlene FX, your favorite female trader, back with another video. Man, I freaking missed you guys. I haven't dropped a video in quite some time. This video is a little bit overdue. I was supposed to drop it a couple days ago, but I've been having difficulties with my mic. But I recently got my mic fixed, so now we're back in action. So I haven't been doing too much trading since my 30K day, but in the last few weeks, I've been dealing with a couple losses. But I took a trade this morning and today, and I did very, very well with it. Not quite another 30K day, but pretty close to it. I did a 27K day today, and I'll put it somewhere, a little pop-up somewhere on the screen here. But I want to go over the setups that I caught on how the trade that I took last week and how I won that one, and how I caught the exact same setup on today's trade. And as you guys can see, this is today's trade, and it is still running based off my what I had analyzed and showed on my Instagram story. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Charlene FX, same as my channel, Charlene FX. Guys, no underscore, no extra letters, no nothing. There's a whole lot of fakes out there, so just be careful with that. Don't get scammed by the fakes, guys. I only have one main page and one business page for my course, and that's pretty much it. So I did show that on my stories. I've been taking it easy, showing profits and showing trades lately on my page, because I don't want my Instagram to just be that. Kind of gets boring just posting the same stuff over and over. So I kind of like to mix it up every now and again. But for now, I do like to show when I catch really, really simple setups that, you know, pretty much anybody can catch if, you know, you put in the work and you actually, you know, hone in on the skill that you have with trading. So really quickly, let me go over today's trade first, since it was for today that we did it, and then we'll talk about the previous setup that I caught. Now, with gold, guys, like I said, I trade gold now. It's my main pair. It's all I trade now. It's a very difficult pair to trade. However, once you become, you know, very experienced with learning how it moves, you can do very well with it. Okay, so the thing that I love the most about gold, that I say, you know, all the time, and I say in all my videos, is that it respects structure, right? It always follows structure. If you can understand how market structure is, then you can really get a good grasp on how to trade it. Okay, so looking at this setup here, I'm not going to go into too much detail, because like I said, it was a super simple setup. All it took was just basically waiting on your analysis to play out, and you're good to go. Damn, I should have opened up my before picture here. Let me do that really quickly. Let me pause this real quickly, and then I'll open that up so you guys could see the before picture. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we're back. All right, guys. So the before picture is here. Okay, so this was this morning, 7:30 this morning. This is the analysis that I pretty much had for price to pull back into this zone here, and then eventually pull back up and continue its uptrend, basically to pick up on all this liquidity that's all sitting up here, and to continue the overall uptrend that we were in. And as you guys can see, price did eventually come down and then push all the way up. Some of you were mentioning to me that, oh, you know, it hit stop loss and this like that and things like that. The thing about this, guys, is first off, I always try to use a mental stop when I first enter trade. You have to give your gold trades a lot of room to breathe. Typically, you want to give your trades roughly 30 to 40, maybe even 50 pip stop losses on gold, because gold is that's how volatile it can be. So you want to, you know, give it the right amount of breathing room for it to breathe. So just because this went past my initial stop doesn't necessarily mean that I stopped out. I didn't get stopped out. I held it, and eventually it came back up into profit. So don't look too much into that, guys. I didn't even hold it to my full TP. I closed out like somewhere around here. And as you can see, it's still continuing to push. The best thing I love about this setup is that I was right about it. You know, you can close out your analysis, you know, close out your profit and just take your money and not hold to TP. But because I'm a scalper and I still have that scalper mentality, I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly. Like just catching, you know, this move to this move here, that's a bigger move for me, right? So you're gonna have your days where you catch them and some days you don't. You know, sometimes you can see the move happening, but you hold it and it reverses. That's why I went through my my losing streak last week because I had like all of my trades were in nice profit. I could have closed out and have been fine with my profit, but I'm trying to get better at holding my setups, and all of them, literally almost all of them, except Friday's trade, went back into drawdown, and I ended up, taking losses on those trades. So guys, sometimes you gotta just take your win and go, or if you want to hold it, you got to be willing to accept the loss and move on from it, just like that, guys. So I'm not afraid to admit it. I take losses. Everybody takes losses. It just happens. But the main thing that you have to keep in mind and to stick with is your confidence in yourself. Don't try to change your strategy. Don't try to, switch to a different session, switch to a different pair. I don't care if you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is of losses, more than wins. If you have to go back to the drawing board and study some more, then that's fine. You want to keep on studying so you can keep on refreshing your skills. But at the same time, you don't want to let it hurt your confidence to the point where you want to quit, or you want to give up, or you start doubting yourself and things like that. Because that's where the losses really mess with you mentally more than anything. So your psychology has to be top notch in order for you to be able to stay in this game, because you're going to experience tough times in the market. You're going to have to be able to pull yourself up when you're taking losses. So let's talk about this setup, and let's talk about structure with gold, how gold moves, and basically just market structure, period. Okay, guys. So basically on this setup here, let me show you guys. I'll do a little breakdown for you guys. Okay. So basically on this setup here, I saw that price had made a low, and it pushed up, made a high, made another low, made a high, and now it came back and made a low, made a deep dive to the downside, grabbed all this liquidity here, and then now it's pushing back up to potentially come back up into the 1890s or even the 1900s. I'm projecting that gold is going to do. It could reach this daily high level and react at some level, because it did up here, but we all know how gold is. It does whatever it wants, right? So you pretty much have to go with whatever your confirmations are telling you, right? So I saw that price came down here, made a low. We have this large rejection wick to the downside. Then we have a little bit of consolidation here before price finally pushed to the upside. Now, basically this little box area here, let me clear some of this stuff out. So basically, guys, this box area right here, this little order block section here, price is kind of just breathing, taking a breather. It did make a low, but if you see, the bullish candles are bigger than the bearish candles. There's only one bearish candle in between all this, even though we had a little bit of rejection here. Once we had this engulfing candle here, and then this little pullback here, that was pretty much all the confirmation that you needed for you to enter. So the best entry probably would have been somewhere up here, but if you're a lot more experienced and with gold, you can try to get yourself a better entry. That way you keep your stop loss a lot lower than it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Or than you want it to be. So basically you have this pullback here, and then this huge rejection wick, kind of a doji candle here, and then finally price eventually pushed to the upside. So if you see price making a low here and then slowly making highs, you have this engulfing here, then you have this major one here, and this candle closing above your support and resistance levels here. And then you have your pullback, which is the most important thing you want to wait for, is your retest levels. And once you saw price pushing up at that point, I mean, it was just, that's it. That the trend is taking off, and you pretty much had to jump into the market at that point. So that's pretty much it. You have price coming up, making a high, coming down, making a low, and then basically coming back up to eventually make another high. Basically, with market structure, guys, what you want to see is price come down, and you want to also see it respect the last low that you have here, right? And once your previous high is broken, you want price to come up, pull back to either that level or a previous level, but you want it to respect structure. You want to respect your last major level of support, and then you want price to eventually turn around and go back up. Okay, so that's pretty much what I saw here, guys. I just had price come down, create major support, come back up, and then I waited on the pullback. Once the pullback started happening and price started rejecting, and the pullback did not break the previous major level of support, I figured and we're in an overall uptrend. I mean, that's all the confirmations that you pretty much need for you to be able to take these setups. And this kind of setup is, I don't want to say easy, but it's very simple to identify and to execute on once you become very experienced and skilled. And now if we look here down to this setup here, this previous setup that I took, I believe I took it last week. It was the same kind of setup. Okay, you have price that made a low, then pushed up, made a high. You have this engulfing candle here. Then you have price kind of collecting orders in this area right around here, right? Doji candle, rejection, rejection. You have this major support being respected down here. Okay, price breaking highs, and you wait on the pullback, and then you're off and running. This isn't much of a pullback, but if you draw a line here, you'll see that it pretty much was, came back to test this last level that it broke, and then it finally pushed to the upside, and then eventually it did push all the way back up, and even retested this level that it broke previously here, and then it pushed down, made a low, and then it pushed up. The only thing about this low is that it broke this previous low here. However, sellers could not push the market any lower, and then price ended up shooting to the moon after that. And now we have new structure being formed to the upside over here. So I am looking at this on the 4-hour time frame. Obviously, there's a lot more detail that's involved in the breakdown of this, but I don't want this, to be too complicated for you guys. But if you guys look for setups like this all the time, you won't be disappointed, because 7 out of 10 times they're going to play out the way that they're supposed to. But you have to wait on your confirmations. You have to wait on the candles to tell you what it's going to do. You got to wait on the volume of the market. You got to wait on all your confirmations, guys. The more time that you wait and you're patient with your setups, the better it's going to be for you in your trades. And you can make really nice profits with it. And with gold, you don't even need a large lot size. You don't need a large amount of money and things like that. You can do really well with it. Not even catching massive moves. You can catch a little move and still be all right with it, but catching a big move, even better. You know what I'm saying? So guys, that's pretty much it. That was that setup. I mean, it's pretty much a break of structure setup there. Wait on the pullback and then take your entry. Push up, market broke structure here, pull back, and then we're gone. That's it. You wait for your confirmation candles. Initially I thought the pullback was going to be around this area here, but it actually pulled back to this area down here, and then it pushed up. So sometimes you got to be a little more patient than you want to be. At times you might see candles doing, reacting to a certain price level, and you're like, oh, it's reacting here. Let me just enter, because I think that this is where it's going to start, pushing up from, and I want to keep my stop loss very low. But if you had entered here and you had your stop loss, right here, most likely it might have tapped it, might not, who knows. But you want to, when trading gold indices period, guys, you guys want to leave a lot of breathing room for that pair to do what it needs to do to push forward. Another main thing I want to touch on is drawdown. Don't be afraid of drawdown, guys. You're going to experience drawdown with trading, because you're not always going to get the best entry. You're not always going to get that sniper entry. You're not always going to have that 5 pip, 10 pip, 15 pip stop loss. Sometimes you need to push it a little, maybe 15 pips, maybe 20 pips, maybe 25, 30, 40, 50 pips. You know what I'm saying? Even as a scalper, depending on the pair that you're trading, you can't be afraid of red. You can't be afraid of drawdown. You can't be afraid of losses. The only time you should be afraid is if you're over trading or if you are over leveraging, right? Because if you over leverage on a trade and you don't have the best entry, you might be tempted to close out your trade at a loss. When if you didn't over leverage and your trade went into a bit of drawdown, you would not be as anxious to close out when because you'll be okay with whatever the number is. So don't be afraid of drawdown. Don't be afraid of losses, and give your trade room to breathe, and just be patient. Just be patient and wait. At the very least, if you can't get it at a wick entry or break a high entry, just put a buy stop. Put some buy stops, some sell stops. Use your stop orders, and then let them do the work for you. Put your stop in a comfortable place, and then be comfortable with however the trade plays out. If it's a win, great. If it's a loss, okay. How do we learn from it? That's how you got to look at all of your setups, all of your trades. If it is a win, then great. How do I repeat that? If it's a loss, bummer. But how do I learn from it? Okay, that's it, point blank. Okay, guys. Really quickly, I get this question every single day. Who's my broker? Who's my broker? My broker is Henkel Trade, guys. They use MT4 and MT5. They have all the major pairs, all the major indices. They have excellent customer service, fast withdrawals, fast deposits, great spreads. I really don't have an issue with Henkel Trade. I actually really like them as a broker. So if you want to know who my broker is, this is my broker. The link is down below. My course is down below. My chat is down below, Telegram chat. My Instagram is also below in the description box, guys. Do not get scammed, guys. Do not get bamboozled. I do not have a WhatsApp. I do not ask you for money. I won't DM you first. Just be smart, guys. There's new pages popping up every day. I'm doing my best to report as much of them as I can. But for the most part, guys, one page, okay? One page, Charlene FX. Just use your heads, use your due diligence, and just be smart about it, guys, okay? Don't send money to people that you don't know. If it sounds fishy or whatever, or too good to be true, no one's making $250,000 every day or off of one trade. It's ridiculous, guys. So don't fall for it. Just use your heads with that, okay? So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. I know I say that all the time. I got to be more consistent with it, but sometimes life gets in the way. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. No excuses, but it is what it is. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll be dropping another video more on psychology on the next one. And other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next trade. Peace and love.